Hi Leo, welcome to my channel. My name is Kem. So today, Leo, for your meditative session, I heard a pumpkin patch. I don't know if something happened in October. I'm getting like Halloween vibes, right? So it could have been something that happened like in an October or November, right? Maybe that month is like significant to you, or I think maybe if it's not the time, right, then I also was thinking of like a pumpkin patch, and it reminded me of The Nightmare Before Christmas. So I don't know if you guys are feeling like unrest, because that's what I associate that movie with, like unrest, like within the soul, right? Because it's like all about how Jack is like trying to find something, and he thinks it's like he's gonna find it through making Christmas, but he realizes like he doesn't find it through that. He finds it like through love with Sally, right? So I mean, this could be like that type of vibe. I don't know. I'm getting more of it as like a time, right? October to November, like something significant. But if not, maybe you're just in an unrestful state right now. And yeah, it's gonna be different for every single one of you. But yeah, Leo, that's what I'm getting for your meditative session. So let's pull some cards and see what we get. I feel like this is for possibly a masculine energy, because I have here the Emperor at the end. So I ended with the Seven of Pentacles, but I took what was at the bottom of the deck because I had the Two of Pentacles with the Father and the Two of Cups, right? And then at the bottom of the other deck, I had the Two of Cups again. So I definitely feel like this is possibly a reading about a divine masculine, right? Could be for a feminine too, because I have the Queen of Cup here. But I think it could also just be the energy that the masculine energy is trying to like emulate, right? And like trying to like be in. I feel like this masculine energy knows now, right? And I don't think that I don't think it was very clear before for them. And I think that is causing them like distress, right? The fact that they're clear on something now, whereas in the past they weren't. That's what I'm feeling like. It's killing them that they like, this masculine energy didn't know, right? It's like with the Hierophant, it's like now they know, but now it's all about faith, right? Now it's all about the belief, right? Now it's all about like trusting, I guess, in the divine to help them out, because I feel like there's kind of like a hopeless situation here. And that's why I feel like these two first cards came out first, right? With like the Ten of Wands and the Faith card. It's like the only way that this could possibly come into fruition now is through the divine, like helping or aiding, right? Like I think this person feels like this is kind of like a hopeless dream at this point. And it's like the fact is that it took them a very long time, I think, to see, right? I think the ego might have been blocking their vision, their like life, you know. I feel like it's like the meditative session, they were like, they're not resting, like they're not at a state of peace, they're at a state of like unrest. And like that's what this card is. It's like they're not able to like rest because they have finally seen through like an illusion that they kind of created themselves, I think. And the illusion is enabling them. The illusion didn't allow them to see the truth, right? And it's like now that they are clear finally, right? Whatever they needed to cut out that wasn't like enabling them to see, it's like they're finally able to see. But at this point, it's like it's kind of like a fool's journey, right? It's like I don't know if they think like it's even possible, right? And it's a really innocent thing right now to just, I think that's kind of one of the things. It's like this person's being brought back to like innocence, and the fact that they have to like believe and put their faith in something bigger than themselves, right? And I think it has to do with this love, and it's also faith in this person. It's like, it's interesting because I just realized that we have the Six of Cups twice and we have the Two of Cups twice. So it's definitely like a soulmate, right? It's definitely like a divine counterpart, right? And I think that it's going to take a lot of this mindset of faith to enable this, right? It's like all they have left in this is faith, because there's nothing here that can tell them what could like really happen. Like they have no way of knowing if this could even work out, right? It's kind of, again, it's like, and it's funny I said it's like a fool's journey, because we have the journey card, right? And it's interesting. It's like, I think that's the only thing that they have like left to believe in, is like that this could possibly happen, like through the divine and through some sort of intervention. And then we have that card here, like the Fool, right? And I think it's like, I think this is kind of them saying that they're like kind of going to take on that, like that role. Like if this is the only way to enable this love to happen, right? Like this faith, right? Like I'm going to maybe pursue this, but at the same time, I have like no shot in hell. Like that's what I feel like. It's like I can try my best and that's all I can do, but like I like, maybe that's like the only thing that they have. It's like the only way that this could happen for me is if I just like put all my cards out on the table and just have faith and just go off, you know? Like I'm never gonna know if this person is gonna say yes or no, so I just have to kind of set out, right? And I think that's kind of what this person is doing. And I think it's taken them a really long time to get to this point with the Wisdom card and the 10. Like it's an end of a cycle, right? And that's why they're beginning off again, but they're beginning off very differently than like the normal way. Like I think they're taking everything they learned and bringing it with them, right? And I think that part of what they've learned is this faith, right? Like this is kind of what's enabling them to go, right? This like back to innocence, right? And also the end of this, like they were like, I feel like in a very foggy state. Like, do you see how there's a lot of smoke by the Hierophant? It's like the Hierophant kind of cleared out all the smoke and cleared out all the bullshit, and it's like now this person can see, but it's like they don't have like a really good shot. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they don't, the only way they can do this is if they just go, right? Like there's no it's like their belief in the divine and belief maybe in this person that they are going, but they know at the same time that this isn't like very possible. Like that's what I keep getting. It's really interesting because I do feel like this father has the choice, right? They have the choice, and I feel like they have to come in. It's like the way that they wanted to come in, I feel like before, they were going to try to avoid a lot of conversations, right? They were going to kind of say like, you know, like the way that they were going to come in before, I feel like they weren't going to be like full of integrity, right? Like with the integrity and the Five of Cups, I think this is someone who like wanted to come in before, didn't come in before though, because they were so like prideful. And I know this is like a Leo reading, so it's funny. It's like, they're so prideful, like they were like, I'm not gonna come in with all the information. I'm just gonna come in with like a sliver of it so that they kind of have enough, but they don't have all of it, right? And I think that was wrong, and I think that that's why they got like humbled down even more. And the divine was like, no, like if you're gonna come in, you're gonna come in 100%. And maybe that's why this person was stalled more, right? Because I feel like there's a stalling, right? There was like the smoke wouldn't be cleared for this person until they were 100% going to come in this energy. So I think it's interesting because it's like this person might blame a lot of other factors into why they were not like kind of on their way and why things kind of got stalled. But at the same time, it's interesting because it's like the only reason that this was stalled could also be having to do with this person's energy, right? Like they can blame a lot of the outer realities and all of like the other people as to why like this didn't work out. And it's like, you know, I got like work or like, you know, all this other shit. But at the end of the day, it's like I think it's the divine stopping them. Like, do you see how like there's someone pulling her hair from the water to like kind of take her down? It's like, I think like they kind of stopped this person from going because this person wasn't going to go in the right way. So I think that's kind of why this person got stalled so much. And I think it has to do with their own energy, right? Like the divine was like, no, we're not going to send you in the incorrect energy. Like there's no point in going if you're not going to go with integrity. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you're going to just mess it up again and you're going to end up messing this up for good. So it's like, no, until you're 100% ready, we're going to stall you. And I don't think that's something that this person understood, but it's like, I think that's maybe why they have to have more faith in the divine, because it's like the divine is like helping this person out, right? Like you would have probably came earlier and fucked it up, like, to be honest, messed it up. Sorry, I'm cursing. So yeah, it's like, at the end of the day, there's something here about your belief system and the fact that like maybe you had to be shaken to the core so you can come like innocently and back in this, like, I feel like it's not innocent, but it's like fresh, right? It's like starting again, like again, I'm getting like a 1, right? Like the beginning. And it's interesting because I'm getting October, November. I was getting a lot of fall, like pumpkin, right? I feel like that's October. So maybe something happens in October or November for you. Maybe like October is a significant time when you're going to set out. I don't know why I keep getting like pumpkins. To be really honest, I don't. But it's interesting because the self card though is with the 8, right? And the 8, I don't know, like if anything had like an autumn vibe, it would be the self card because the trees are kind of like orange here. The leaves have kind of turned. So maybe this communication is coming in the autumn, like October, November, but I also have an 8 here, so it could be August as well, but I'm definitely getting the fall. So I would say like, I don't normally get anything about time. I hate like time is like not real, like, do you know what I'm saying? This is like a timeless read. I do like date them because it's like for my own organization. I definitely think that like this person, there's something to do with like autumn, to be honest. I really feel like that. So maybe this person is going to approach the queen in autumn. And I feel like this message is really for the masculine because they're actually telling me about the feminine, right? And I think it's like, I think it's kind of both. I think like, first I'm getting like that the feminine is kind of in this like Sleeping Beauty pose. Like, you know, like the story of Sleeping Beauty, she's literally like asleep until her like true love comes and kisses her. Like she's put under like a spell. And I feel like that's kind of the vibe for the feminine energy. Like, I think they've kind of been suspended for a little bit, and I think they're kind of also wondering where their like gifts are. Like again, harvest, like autumn is the time of harvest. Autumn is the time of like reaping, which you like, it's when the crops come in, right? So it's like maybe this person is also waiting, and October is going to be like a very big month. Maybe it's August, honestly, with this 8, right? But at the same time, I also think that this could also be for the masculine. It's like the masculine was suspended until they were in cup energy. Like, again, I think there's a lot of suspension here of this masculine on his journey. And again, it's because of the energy of the masculine. Like, the masculine had to be ready and the masculine had to be in the right energy. So the only way, like, the divine knows how to, like, the best way to stop this person would be to create maybe an obstacle that they have to clear until they can, like, pass that obstacle. And the first one I feel like had a lot to do with ego. And, like, again, them trying to, like, not say the entire truth, right? A lot of it like there's many stops here. Like I feel like there's like 3 stops, right? It's like one was like the ego, one was like their belief system, one could have been like the amount of information they wanted to share, like they weren't going to share it all. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like they're being worked on so much to get to this point, and I feel like it's only until they get into this energy, right? Like, see how we have a very similar vibe here with the self and the 7 of Pentacles. And it's interesting because it's like they're both very like relaxed and at ease, right? So it's like a very, maybe this is like the feminine and the masculine, but I really think it could just be the feminine and the masculine, but I think it's kind of just like the energy that the divine is telling you, like, now that you're in the correct energy, now that like this masculine is right? Like, not that you're right, but you know what I'm saying? It's like now that you're gonna come in the right way because you've like gone through all the shit, now it's like time, right? And I think that that's what's going on here. It's like now there's no more stalling of energy. We go from Hangman to the Eight of Wands. So we're going from like a stalling to quick energy. So I think that it's really interesting because there's a lot about time here. Even though I don't like to read about time, I feel like there's a lot about time. And I think there's a lot about autumn. Yeah, it's like the journey was meant to prepare you. Like the journey, this dark journey that you're coming out of is meant to prepare you for the light, right? And you can't expect to go anywhere but, like, if you're at the bottom, you have to go up, right? Like, that's what's going on right now. You're going to go up now because, like, you've been at the bottom for a while. And with the Two of Pentacles, I feel like, again, everything is up to you. Like, for this masculine, everything is up to, like, at the end of the day, the masculine has to be the one to make these decisions. So yeah, like the divine can work through them and the divine can like intervene and the divine can help as much as they possibly can. But at the end of the day, it's up to the Emperor to make those decisions on like where they're really going and where, do you know what I'm saying? It's like they can intervene, they can like stop things from happening. I feel like there's definitely so much intervention in this reading. And I think that's something that the masculine needed to know. It was like intervention, but for a purpose that was something that you couldn't maybe see. And now it's like you can try to understand it from their perspective. There's a lot of that this week. It's like the divine is intervening, but only in like a necessary way, and it's only to really help you out. So it's like you can look at them however you want to look at them, right? And the process, right? But again, they are like waiting for us technically to like do the work. So it's like at the end of the day, it's like whose fault was it really? Do you know what I'm saying? And it's a hard thing to like understand, but yeah, I definitely see that with the Two of Pentacles and the Emperor. The Emperor might feel like the decisions in this life are not really up to him, right? It's like, well, I like all this shit got stalled, so it's like I don't even have control. And it's like maybe once they regain that like sense of control, like that sense, again, they have to come in balance. So I think it has to do with like the fact that they do have control, and at times it's like what's that word where it's like the fact that you have zero control, but then at the same time you do have control. Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the divine really does at the end of the day control everything, but you still have to make like proactive decisions in your life to like to move forward, right? Like you can't just stay and be like, oh, the divine's gonna move me through. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's times to be proactive and there's times to like sit back, and now is the time to be proactive. And I think it's like once the masculine understands that, because they're going from like two different states, you know what I mean, Hangman to Eight of Wands, like movement really quickly. So it's like the movement happens when they realize that it's like, yeah, you have to understand that the divine is like the one orchestrating, but at the same time, like you have to be proactive in this time. Like this is the time to be proactive. So I feel like once the masculine realizes that, then they're going to like step into this Two of Cups, right? So yeah, Leo, I really love this reading. Let's pull some advice for you guys. So Leo, you guys got Dove Spirit Be Peace number 21, making a 3. And it's crazy because you guys got Teresa of Avila, Our Lady of the Interior Life. I trust the answers I find within me. I know the presence of love is real. And do you see how there's like a dove in both of them? Like 1, 2. I never see, like, that's crazy to me. And I think that there's a message here about, there's a lot of messages. One, I feel like is to look at the synchronicities, right? Like with her holding the feather, it reminds me of like, if you see a feather on the floor, like that's the divine telling you that they're present. So be like aware of the synchronicities. Also with the 3, right? The 3 is like, it reminds me of the trilogy, right? It reminds me of like the divine. To me, 3 is like the divine, them being with you, right? Also, we have this 8 of Wands, right? Another like a bird, right? So there's definitely something here about the divine being there for you. And again, I think a lot of the signs are getting that this week, where it's kind of like the divine being there the entire time, and you trying to understand why things had to be so hard, why things were so painful, like why the dark journey exists, and there's a light and the dark, but like why does that part have to exist? And it's like there has to be a balance. Like there cannot only be good, there has to be, it's like, again, how do you see the dark, how do you learn to decipher dark, like the darkness, it's through the light, right? Like the line shines through, and then you're like, oh, that's what darkness is. But you need the light as much as you need the darkness. Like they're both like, I know it sounds weird, but it's like the yin and the yang. They work together in some sort of way. So you need to like trust, right? And I think they want you to know that for the next step of the journey, it's never going to be hard for you to look within. Like now you kind of have attained this gift of like going within and searching through like yourself for an answer, right? And going within to your soul, like this part of your soul is divine, right? Like your soul is divine. So if you're able to go within, right, and like look within, you're gonna find the divine right within you. And it's like you don't have to look that far, right, to know the answers. It's like you've learned this like really valuable skill of like, anytime that I'm confused, I just have to look within. Anytime like I don't know what the hell I'm doing, I just have to look within, right? And it's gonna help you a lot again. Like I don't think the dark journey you will never go through a dark journey like this again because of the skill. So it's like, even though this might have been the darkest point in your life or a very dark time in your life, it's like it's never going to happen again for you because you've learned this skill of looking within to your soul. Like you've reconnected with your soul in a way where it enables you to see it, to connect with it at all times, right? So it's like you're never going to go through this journey again. Like that's what I want you to know. It's like you're never going to have to go through this dark journey again as long as you remember the skills that you learned from this dark journey. And that dark journey was like the Hierophant, right? Like clarity, right? Clarity came to you, and it's a really important thing that, like, yeah, there's so many reasons for this, right? Like now you can attain the love that you desire, right? And now like you are the Emperor, right? So yeah, I think it's a really beautiful reading to show like the way that they have been working for you, even though it seemed like they weren't, right? So yeah, Leo, I really love this reading. I love you guys. I hope this resonates, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.